minutes, but anyway, I wanted to point your attention at a positive example. Maybe you know the first country which felt the crisis was a very small country, very far in the north, nearly close to the pole. It was Iceland. And in Iceland we can see where there are some things which countries can do rightly. And this is, I think, quite interesting, and also things which can be done by the people. There have been huge demonstrations in Iceland as the first waves of the crisis hit this small island. And there has been, at least after the election, there has been a government listening to people. So there have been, first of all, a process of a democratic process to find a way how to go out of the crisis. There's been 2 times a referendum, something which especially our German Chancellor Merkel denied the people in Greece. So the people in Iceland had the chance to say what they want. That was number 1. Number 2 was that they had a government which had clear priorities. The priorities had been not to save the banks, but to let those financial institutions with their big bubbles go bankrupt, but to continue to give the services of a bank. That means to give people the ability to draw money from the bank. So the state did take over some of the banks, but on a level not like this 10 times of the gross domestic product they had in this big bubble, but to give the banks the ability to give money to the people, just the basic services a bank should give to people, and not to speculate. So the state did take over this responsibility, so people didn't fall into total poverty like they do now in Greece. This was a very important step, and I think a good way to deal with the crisis. But there has also been enormous international, especially European pressure on Iceland to save the banks. Especially, you know, maybe IceSafe was because there's many European savings, speculation I should say, in this bank. So there's enormous pressure. You cannot change. You cannot go into the European Union. You cannot be a member if you don't save IceSafe. But Iceland had been really strong in this, but it was strong because the people had been strong and very clear in saying what was their priority. And also there is an important thing that this country did make nearly no social cuts. There have been some small ones, but really in comparison to everything we see in Portugal, Spain or Greece, there was nearly none of any kind of social cuts. But they increased the taxes for the rich, and also for the income, but also for the wealth of people. So those who could do something to contribute to society, they had to do. But the poor had been more or less safe in their financial situation. So this was a clear priority on a social agenda, not an agenda to save the financial institutes. But on the other side, it was easier for Iceland because we've got not the euro but the krona, so it could be devaluated. And this also helped to get the economy to grips with the new situation. This is something which the Greek or Spanish or Portuguese people don't have. And finally, there's, you have 1 minute? Okay, I used the time. Thanks for. Finally, it's important to know that, just let me sum it up. Gives me some pressure to have only 1 minute. But anyway, I should manage. The most important thing is that everything what happened didn't happen behind closed doors, but it was made transparent to people every step of the way what's going to happen. And these things like democracy, priority on social justice and transparency are 3 important things if we want to have a way out of the crisis.